Gamma Jack, the silent titan of the Incredibles universe, overshadowed in the public eye by flashy names like Mr. Incredible, Frozone, and Elastigirl, yet hiding the kind of destructive potential that makes VS Battles Wiki power scalers sit up in their chairs. While his canon screen time is virtually non-existent, the data points we do have tell a story of a man whose body is a walking reactor, capable of producing radiation yields that push him into the town-level destructive class, low 7C on the VS Battles scale, putting him far above most supers in raw killing power. The starting point for any serious scaling is the Operation Chronos threat rating, 7.9. This is not a casual number. In Syndrome's database, threat ratings quantified how dangerous each super was to the Omnidroid line. A score above 7 means engagement requires extreme caution in their algorithm. For context, Mr. Incredible's rating is 6.8, and that's a man who can bench press locomotives and withstand high-speed train impacts. Gamma Jack's nearly full-point lead on him is our first sign that his offensive kit must be exceptional. That kit revolves around high-intensity radiation projection, so intense that documented simulations place him vaporizing a human-sized target at 100 meters. From a VS Battles perspective, vaporization is not just artistic hyperbole. It's a defined feat type with measurable energy requirements. The physics behind it involve raising the temperature of the target material, in this case organic human tissue, from ambient to boiling, then supplying enough latent heat of vaporization to convert the entire mass from liquid to gas instantly. Calculations from fan analysts peg this at around 0.0921 tons of TNT equivalent for a single human-sized target. And that's the baseline. Radiation disperses omnidirectionally, so if we scale that yield to a spherical blast radius at 100 meters, the total energy output rises to around 4.5 kilotons. This alone comfortably plants him in the low 7C tier, comparable to wiping out multiple city blocks with a single blast. But then there's the kicker. When Gamma Jack's radiation is focused, when he channels it like a beam rather than a burst, the destructive potency spikes dramatically, theoretically reaching 92 kilotons. That's nearly double the yield of the little boy atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima. In the Incredibles verse, where the average super's destructive feats top out at building level or small block devastation, Gamma Jack is operating in a different league entirely. Let's break down what this means for combat applications. Range advantage. At 100 meters, his full vaporization feat retains lethal potency. This puts him outside the reach of most melee supers. Mr. Incredible can't leap that far in one bound. Elastigirl's stretch is impressive, but far short of that range. This allows Gamma Jack to play keep away while raining down city-tier energy. Bypass of conventional defenses. Radiation is not like a bullet or a fist. It's electromagnetic energy that can penetrate and disrupt matter at a molecular level. Even without visible structural damage, electronics fry, nervous systems short-circuit, and unshielded tissues cook from within. This makes his attacks effective against tech-based enemies, even those wrapped in armor. Area of effect control. An omnidirectional pulse means dodging is harder than against a projectile. Unless you can get outside the blast radius instantly, you're hit. Scaling from other supers' movement speeds, most inverse characters are subsonic plus to hypersonic in reactions. That's fast enough to dodge bullets if they know the attack is coming and it's directional. A sphere of lethal radiation? That's a nightmare to evade. When we compare him directly to the Incredibles main cast, the gaps are stark. Mr. Incredible's raw lifting strength might let him crush cars, but he doesn't have town-level attack potency without extreme scaling. Frozone can lock down large areas with ice, but against intense heat and radiation, ice barriers vaporize in moments. Violet's force fields could theoretically hold. She has feats of stopping a missile, but we don't have proof they're radiation-proof. If they aren't, her shields could fail under sustained kiloton-level bombardment. On VS Battles Wiki's comparative scale, low 7C puts Gamma Jack on par with early Dragon Ball Z characters pre-Saiyan Saga, certain high-tier Pokemon like Garchomp, and even some Marvel Street to City level characters like MCU Scarlet Witch before full Hex Mastery. This means cross-verse, he's no pushover. He could obliterate Spider-Man outright. He could pressure a Young Justice team lineup. Against pure bricks with no ranged counter like Luke Cage or Colossus, he's devastating. That said, durability is his Achilles heel. There's no canon evidence of Gamma Jack tanking his own blasts or surviving equivalent yields. Physically, he's likely still in the human durability range, maybe slightly enhanced via whatever mutation fuels his radiation, but not to the point of shrugging off heavy ordnance. This makes him a textbook glass cannon. Extreme damage potential, low tolerance for retaliation. Speedsters or teleporters would be his bane. If they can get inside his minimum safe firing distance, he could be neutralized before firing a second shot. In a team battle, this is mitigated. Place him behind frontliners, give him cover, and he becomes an artillery piece that shapes the battlefield. His ability to control engagement distance via flight only compounds this. Air superiority lets him strike without putting himself in melee range, and his high ground vantage increases hit probability on slower targets. From a stamina perspective, the energy cost of unleashing multiple 90-plus kiloton blasts in succession would logically be enormous. Without direct canon statements, we can only speculate, but physics suggests that sustained fire at that level isn't practical for long durations. More likely, Gamma Jack cycles between high output strikes and lower intensity bursts to conserve energy, a tactic well suited to wearing down multiple opponents over time. If we imagine him in a cross-universe gauntlet under VS Battles rules, he's mowing through most low 7C opponents handily. Anything without strong ranged options or resistance to electromagnetic energy falls quickly. Against mid-7C, small city level, and higher, the gap starts to show, but with flight and clever positioning, he could still tag and eliminate careless opponents. And so, while the Incredibles canon never gave Gamma Jack his moment in the sun, power scaling paints a vivid alternate picture. A super whose threat rating wasn't inflated hype, but cold, calculated recognition that his capacity for devastation was unmatched in his world. A living reactor who could end battles before they began if given the chance to unleash the storm inside him.